Deep within a lush, green forest, where sunlight dappled through the leaves and a gentle stream whispered secrets to the stones, lived a tiny sparrow named Tiko. Now, Tiko wasn't like the other birds. He was small, even for a sparrow, and exceptionally quiet. While his friends chirped and chattered from the highest branches, Tiko preferred the quiet solitude of a low-hanging willow branch, hidden from view. Tiko had a secret, a beautiful one. He loved to sing. When he was all alone, with no one around to listen, he would puff out his chest and let out the most delicate, enchanting melodies. His songs weren't loud or boisterous. They were soft and sweet, like the sound of wind chimes in a gentle breeze. They were songs about the morning dew on a spider's web, the colors of the sunset painting the sky, and the quiet hum of the forest at night. But the moment another creature came near, a scampering squirrel, a hopping rabbit, or even another bird, Tiko would fall silent, his melody dissolving into the air. He was terribly shy, you see. He worried his voice was too small, too insignificant. Who would want to listen to a tiny sparrow's quiet song when the boisterous jays and the grand nightingales filled the air with their powerful music? So, he kept his gift hidden, a treasure just for himself. One morning, Tiko woke up and something felt different. He fluffed his feathers and peeked out from his leafy hiding spot. The forest, usually alive with the symphony of dawn, was strangely silent. The air felt heavy and still. The cheerful chirping of the crickets had ceased. The woodpecker's rhythmic drumming was gone, and even the babbling brook seemed to have hushed its voice. A strange sadness had settled over the forest like a thick, gray mist. Tiko flew from his branch, his tiny wings beating against the quiet air. He saw the squirrels huddled in their nests, their bushy tails wrapped tightly around them. The rabbits sat motionless by their burrows, their ears drooping. Even the vibrant flowers, which usually turned their faces to the sun, seemed to be wilting, their petals curled inward as if in sorrow. The joy had vanished from their world. Why was everyone so sad? What had happened to the music of the forest? He flew from tree to tree, from meadow to stream, but everywhere he went, the same heavy silence greeted him. The forest felt empty, soulless. It was as if all the happiness had been drained away. Tiko's little heart ached for his home, for the cheerful sounds and the vibrant life that he loved so much. He perched on a branch overlooking the silent woods and felt a pang of loneliness greater than any he had ever known. He missed the morning chorus, the happy chatter, the very pulse of life that made his home so wonderful. It was in that moment of deep longing that a new feeling began to stir within him, a feeling he hadn't experienced before. It was a flicker of courage. He looked at the sad, silent world around him, and he thought of his own hidden song. It was a small song, a quiet song, but it was his. And right now, any sound, any note of cheer, felt desperately needed. He thought, what if his little song could make even a tiny difference? The fear of being heard was still there, a fluttering in his chest, but the desire to help his friends was stronger. Taking a deep, trembling breath, Tiko closed his eyes. He thought of all the beauty in the forest that he sang about in private, the sparkling stream, the dancing leaves, the warm sun. And then, with a brave flutter of his wings, he did something he had never done before. He opened his beak and he sang, not just for himself, but for everyone. His first note was hesitant, a tiny, silvery sound that barely seemed to travel. But then came another and another, each one a little stronger, a little more confident. His melody, once a secret whispered to the leaves, now soared through the still air. It was a song of hope, a tune of gentle joy. It floated through the branches of the great oaks, drifted over the silent meadows, and echoed softly down to the quiet stream. Slowly, something magical began to happen. A sleepy fox poked its nose out of its den, its ears twitching. A pair of deer in the clearing lifted their heads, their dark eyes wide with wonder. The rabbits' ears perked up, and one by one, they started to twitch their noses, looking around for the source of the beautiful sound. The squirrels chattered softly to one another from their nests. Tiko's song grew bolder as he saw the effect it was having. He sang of the sunrise and the promise of a new day. He sang of the resilience of the smallest seed and the strength of the tallest tree. His music wasn't loud, but it was full of heart. As his melody filled the forest, the flowers began to stir. The droopy bluebells lifted their heads, the shy daisies unfurled their petals, and the vibrant poppies swayed gently back and forth, as if they were dancing to his tune. The leaves on the trees seemed to shimmer with their renewed green, and the sunlight, breaking through the canopy, felt warmer, brighter. The other animals were drawn to the sound. They gathered at the foot of Tiko's tree, not with loud commotion, but with a quiet reverence. They smiled. A real, genuine smile spread from the wise old owl to the tiniest field mouse. The forest was waking up. Soon, another sound joined Tiko's song. It was the gentle rustle of leaves as a badger ambled by. Then, the soft thump of a rabbit's foot. A woodpecker, inspired by the rhythm, started a gentle tapping on a nearby trunk. The stream began to gurgle and splash again, its voice joining the growing chorus. The silence was broken, not by noise, but by life. Tiko sang until his little lungs were tired, his heart swelling with a joy he had never known. He hadn't just sung a song, he had shared a piece of his soul, and in return, he had brought the soul of the forest back to life. When he finally finished, a gentle applause of rustling leaves and soft chirps filled the air. The other animals looked up at him, their eyes shining with gratitude. From that day forward, Tiko was no longer the silent, shy sparrow. He sang every morning from the highest branch he could find. His voice, which he once thought was too small, was now the celebrated sound of the forest's dawn. The other birds didn't see him as small or insignificant. They saw him as the brave little hero who reminded them how to be happy. Tiko learned a powerful lesson. He realized that his voice, his unique gift, was not just for him. It was a gift meant to be shared. It didn't matter if it was the biggest or the loudest voice in the forest. What mattered was the heart behind it. He learned that even the smallest voice, when filled with courage and love, can bring the greatest joy and change the world in its own special way. And so, Tiko sang, his cheerful melody a constant reminder to all that no matter how small you feel, your song deserves to be heard. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this story with me. If you enjoyed Tiko's journey, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories that warm the heart. See you next time.